Okay, so a little video for the mushrooms I'm growing, varieties, and what I've done them in. We're doing the shikati, the makati, or the hen of the woods, the lion's mane, and the blue oyster. The blue oyster isn't in here at the moment. Two of the bags I did a little experiment with, which I'll do another short video on. I think they may have gone a bit wrong. I think two of the bags may have a yeast infection. The other two bags just seem to have way too much water in them. They're doing fine, but I didn't want them in there with the rest because the rest are doing rather well. It's the same mix for all of them. It's all beechwood. We're using beechwood fuel pellets because obviously they're easy to mix up. A bit of warm water, get it going. A nice big healthy helping of rye bran, a little bit of gypsum, and I guess about 2 handfuls of wood chips. Handful and a half. I'm not really sure how that would break down, but they've all been done in the same in the same mix. I think what I've done is I've used somewhere between, I don't know, 20 to 50 possibly mil too much water. The lion's mane seemed fine with that, as did the makati. The oyster mushrooms really don't seem to like too much water. The lion's mane and the makati both very thirsty. The shikati didn't look like it was going to like it, and then it suddenly picked up and it's fine. There was a little bit of a delay with them, so about a month behind production, unfortunately. But they've all been opened as of yesterday, which is nice. So the hen of the woods, if you can see here, we've just opened the top completely on the hen of the woods, and with any luck they'll just all bloom out there. I think the next time we do hen of the woods, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them in jam jars, because it just makes more sense, and then you can just take the top off and let them do their thing, and it's easier to pick because they're the top of a jam jar. The same with the shikati. For now they've just had the tops opened. I'll probably take them completely out of the bag and just have the blocks sat there and see what happens with those. And the lion's mane, I don't know if you can see it really, we just made a couple of little slits. So the top row, done a little experiment, the top row has got smaller slits, and the bottom row is the other one, there's the other one, and there's the fourth one, have slightly longer slits. So we'll experiment with those a little bit, and when the pins come out and start going, I might do some more, see how much I can get out of that. The lion's mane doesn't look like it's the substrate's been inoculated properly. Everyone's doing this and is worried about that. You'll see the shikati and the hen of the woods, obviously that's just packed out and white. Obviously the hen of the woods is a little bit smoother, it's a bit like snow. It's quite nice really. Get this light down here, and the shikati so it's all kind of knotty, and then starts to brown off a little bit on the top. So when it's starting to see that browning, get your blocks out. But the lion's mane, if you can see, it still looks like the substrate isn't properly inoculated. It's quite a lot of brown there still, but that's just what it does. It's kind of wispy. I've left these way too long. The thing was, I thought that if anything was going to be finicky, if anything was going to be difficult to grow, it was going to be the lion's mane. I don't know why I was thinking that. I thought if anything was going to survive the rigours of building things around them, that it was going to be the blue oyster. But it turns out to be the lion's mane. The lion's mane have actually started growing up through the top of the bag, and you can see the substrate sort of ends kind of there, and then you can see the myceliums climbed all the way at the top. It's difficult to get a clear picture on the camera through the plastic. No, that's not going to work. It's unfortunate because it does look pretty crazy. Get that one in focus a little bit maybe. Yeah, see, there we go. It's just gone wild. It's just begging to get out of the bag. I kind of wanted to open the top of the bag, but I think that would ruin it completely. So it'll be interesting, because obviously you should really just wait until the top is like that really, and then do your slits. I kind of left the lion's mane because the others were catching up to the lion's mane, even though the lion's mane was actually the last batch to be put in. And if we see here, the shikati was done the 18th, is it? Yep, 18th of November. It took a while to look at the substrate. Oh no, sorry, the lion's mane was also done the 18th. Hen of the woods was done the 24th. So the hen of the woods, you know, sort of catching up to the lines meant the shikati suddenly went through a big boost there. I should mention the shelving that I've done. I wanted tubular aluminium shelving. Now the lowest you should go on this is 3/4 of an inch. Really want an inch just to be safe. But what I did is I ordered 1/2 inch. Now the problem is, because it's bespoke and you pay for it when you order it, you can't really send it back, so I had to improvise a little bit. So what I've done is I've got some just cable ties, if you can see here, and I've put 2 of the piping together, and then 4 makes up a shelf. You don't want flat shelves, you want something that's nice and easy to clean, you want something that the airflow is going to get around nicely, and your humidity as well. If you've got your little blowers or, you know, whatever you're using, you don't want to be using chicken wire and stuff. You get a lot of muck that builds up on chicken wire. These, if you're just using tubes, they're really easy to clean, really easy to take care of, and whip out the chambers if I need to. But if you tie 2 of them together with these little cable ties here, it's not so bad. I have to press quite hard to make it bow, so it takes the weight of 6 bags quite nicely. Really, I think it quite happily takes 7. So that's actually an extra bag that I thought I was going to get. So, you know, one mistake with the shelving, but it's proved to maybe be a bit of a benefit. I'm not sure just yet. Eventually in the chambers there will be 2 sets of shelves. I can't explain that very well. About 3 inch up from the ground is where the first shelf will start. So there's 2 more shelving units that need to go into here. There's one at the bottom, one at the top. At the moment I've just done the middle 2 just for now, just like sort of tinker around with things a little bit. Like I said, the oyster mushrooms have come out of here, so we've got a little bit of extra space now. So what you'll have is, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shelves, and then 7 bags per shelf, or 7 fruiting blocks per shelf. I guess on the other side, when you're the substrate's inoculating, you could probably get more bags on because the weight hasn't built up quite so much. I mean, these should be about 2.5 kilograms of fruiting block. The shikati especially, I mean, the shikati is a heavy girl compared to the hen of the woods. Which, no, the hen of the woods is about the same weight as the shikati blocks. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it for the mushrooms. In a couple of weeks they should all be blooming nicely. I'll do another little video on the oyster mushrooms, but that's it for now. Ciao.